Whenever I read the comments, there's always a couple of people asking if they're too late to join cybersecurity. This really got me thinking if there's even a thing as being too late to anything at all, especially in cybersecurity. So if you're the person that's asking this question, then let's talk about if you're really too late to start a career in cybersecurity, also how you can realistically get started if you're not too late, and I also set some realistic expectations which is going to be helpful for you guys. First of all, I just want to point out that cybersecurity is not for everyone. You're required to know some stuff about IT and some general interest in the tech industry. So when you're asking yourself if you're too late to get into cybersecurity, you really should be asking yourself if it's too late for you to learn and pick up new skills. Unless you're retired or severely disabled, the answer to that would be generally no. Now you're thinking, okay, I'm capable of learning new things and picking up new skills. What's next? When you're in that position, you should start thinking if you have the capacity to learn new skills. Like actually sit down, write down your day-to-day schedule, and see how much time you can scoop out and set aside for learning. You can kind of think of it this way. How much extra time in your life right now can you realistically afford to invest in yourself for a better future? I know there are some people that are gonna say they have zero extra time because they have so much going on in their life. That's when you really need to decide, are you going to make some compromise here and some sacrifice there? After all, an investment is only an investment if there's a risk. Okay, with that said, let's say you do have an hour a day you can set aside to learn. So how long in total do you actually need to learn enough to start a career in cybersecurity? In my opinion, there are a minimum of 2 to 3 certifications I would recommend if you're starting with zero knowledge and experience. I'm more familiar with CompTIA, so this list will only be certifications from them. But generally, you'll need to go through A+ for basic IT fundamentals, Security+ for cybersecurity fundamentals, and Network+ for basic networking knowledge. If we take a look at this popular course on Udemy, we can see there's at least 15 hours of content to go through for CompTIA A+. For Security+, we can see there's at least 31 hours of content. And finally, for Network+, there's almost 33 hours of content to go through. So just the content alone, you have about 80 hours to go through. And for each certification, you also need some time to study for the exam. So if you factor those in, they could be at least 100 hours in total for all 3 certifications. Alright, this next step is very important. With that number of hours in your mind, you need to seriously consider if you're able to commit to it. If you're studying an hour a day, that's a minimum of like 3 months of learning non-stop on the content. So keep in mind, this is just a rough timeline based on the number of hours from the courses. Realistically, you're gonna have breaks, you're gonna go on holidays, you're gonna have days off. So when you factor those in, best case, double it to 6 months minimum. For the average person, I would say 6 to 12 months is a realistic time frame to run through all 3 of the certifications. And for the people that are complaining that this is a very long time, a degree in cybersecurity is like 3 years. There's no fast way around this. Alright, let's take 1 year as a time frame. You need to factor this into your daily life schedule and see if you can commit to this. For example, if you're working another job right now, if you plan on staying in this job for at least the next year, then commit to blocking out at least an hour a day in your timetable and study the courses. An hour a day might not seem like a lot to some of you guys, but as you stay consistent and make some progress, day by day, you'll eventually make it. I promise you that. At this point of the video, if you're still thinking that this is too late for you, then just be honest to yourself. It's not a matter of being too late. Cybersecurity is just not important enough for you. I remember someone told me that if something is important enough for you, you will always make time for it, no matter how much time you don't have. I also remember back in the days, I actually did a degree in architectural design before I dropped out, and there was this old man in our cohort who was like 60 years old. Moral of the story, age shouldn't be the deciding factor for being too late in something. Alright, so for all of you guys that stayed this far into the video and know you can achieve this, what's the next step? If it hasn't been obvious to you already, just start. Enroll in a course like Udemy, or if you don't want to spend money yet, just go on YouTube, type in the search bar Professor Messer, and search for CompTIA A+ and start watching. I'm not affiliated with his channel whatsoever. I just love his content and he has really helped me out when I first started my career in cybersecurity, so I fully endorse his content. The difference between YouTube content and courses on Udemy is generally the structure. Since Udemy is paid content, you get better content structure and practice exams and tips and questions. Okay, let's play out the scenario and fast forward a year. You have finally completed all the certifications and you're ready to apply to jobs. Don't be that person that thinks you're gonna land a 6-figure job right out the gate. Sure, it happens to some people, but those are rare cases, so you need to set your expectations. When you're out the gate, the most important thing you need is experience. Money will come later. We need to understand the general job hierarchy in cybersecurity. Starting at the bottom, we have the help desk. Some people might think that help desk is not part of cybersecurity. Well, in my books, cybersecurity is part of IT, and help desk is part of IT as well. So by definition, I would include them in the hierarchy. Help desk is right at the bottom, and it's usually the starting point for a lot of people. I've personally known a number of people get into this role first and then level up to cybersecurity. Next up, we have security analysts, which are the first point of contact for incidents in Security Operations Center or SOC. In a normal security operations center, it usually consists of a security lead, security analysts, security engineers, vulnerability analysts, penetration testers, just to name a few. You'll most likely be applying to security analyst, as that's commonly the starting role in cybersecurity. If you're interested to know what the day in life of a security analyst looks like, then feel free to check out this video here. So let's say you've applied to a lot of job applications and you're not receiving any responses. You might be inclined to think that the job market is way too competitive and you stand no chance. Well, that might be true to some degree because luck really does play a role, but not too big of a role. You need to think outside the box a little bit and ask yourself, is it really the entire job market against you? Or is there something about you that needs improving? If you have been applying to at least 20, 30, or even 40 job applications and have not received a single response to go to the first screening stage, then you're not gonna like what I'm going to say next. The problem is most likely with you. Let's say you achieved all the certifications above and you applied to 20 jobs and were either rejected or ghosted by all of them. What should you do? You'll be correct to think that you're missing the experience for the job. This is where you need to start doing projects. I actually can't stress this enough. You need to apply everything you learn from the courses into hands-on practical projects. This is actually the minimum you need to do to get an edge over your competition. Research on what security analysts do on a daily basis and see how you can also do the same things from your end. For example, we use SIEM a lot and we have lots of logs flowing in over there. Our common use cases involve understanding the logs to see if there's anything useful there, create reports, create alerts, dashboards for continuous monitoring. I highly recommend watching this video so you can understand an example project which you can add to your resume. There are also a handful of other videos that I highly recommend watching through. Links are in the description, so make sure to check them out. Alright, let's say you've been stacking up your projects for a month and you have at least 3 to 4 projects to showcase in your resume. I would actually be surprised if you still applied like 20 job applications and didn't receive a single response back. But leave a comment down below if this happened to you because I'm genuinely curious. I hope this video has been motivating for anyone that's been thinking they're too late to start a career in cybersecurity. You'll never be too late for anything if you put your mind to it. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.